Hello and welcome to Point in Progress Podcast, episode 25, your one-stop shop for news, recommendations, and some spicy takes. Join 5 friends across 3 time zones and 2 countries every week as we discuss all the things we love while still thinking critically about them. What's going on, everybody? I'm Sly. I'm your host for this week, and I am joined by all my lovely co-hosts here as we hop in to the checkpoint. We got some exciting announcements. Fee, you want to tell us about our first point of housekeeping?
Absolutely. Abso-frickin-lutely I do, because guess what? It took me a moment to bring up the show notes to see what it was. We
Smooth. Way to
really
go.
smooth. Hey, you know what? I'm doing some housekeeping in the background right now. We started a new podcast called Fantasy in Progress, where we talk about everything Final Fantasy 14 related. We just released an episode last week, all things about ARR, which is A Realm Reborn, and this week we have recorded an episode which will be releasing very soon on Monday for Heaven's Ward. So definitely check that out if you're a fan of Final Fantasy 14. If you haven't played Final Fantasy 14 before, it might just push you in the right direction, so I definitely recommend checking it out. You can hear it on all platforms, and you can also check out the video on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We love to see it. We're making lots of big money moves. In addition, Mario, you want to tell us about the review that's going up?
Yeah. So I did a Candyman review earlier this week with Karl, the writer, who reached out to me to actually wanting to do this film. I saw it, of course, in near the area in which the movie takes place, so that was fun. And I enjoyed this movie. Definitely, you would want to hear our talk. We break down the movie literally scene by scene. We actually go through the whole thing. So definitely give that a shot and check out Karl.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to checking that out. In addition, we have more projects going on behind the scenes that we're all very, very excited about. It's going to be great. I'm super excited. In addition, I will be on 6-1 Indie recording tomorrow night. So keep an eye out for that. I'm super excited that our friends over at 6-1 Indie invited me to be on, and so definitely show them some love. With that, do we have any other housekeeping? We good?
New video coming out tomorrow, which at this time, depending on when you hear this, it should be already out. I did a review for The Artful Escape by publishers Beethoven and Dinosaur. I'm sorry, developers Beethoven and Dinosaur, and then publishers by Annapurna. So again, shout out to them. They hooked us up with the code, and I did a review for it.
Nice.
Love that. All right, with that, what have y'all been up to lately? It's been a week. Fee, tell us about your week.
Well, had an entertaining time. Almost became a zombie yesterday. Had a crazy time with what is it? DoorDash? It was
DoorDash. Yeah.
Yeah, DoorDash. Found out that DoorDash, if you are a first-time user, and your first order doesn't work, you actually lose the free delivery. But in return, they'll just give you a $15 credit saying we're sorry. So appreciate that, DoorDash. Cool beans. Really appreciate you guys. Yeah, just that was random. Also, what I've been playing this week, I've been obviously playing Final Fantasy 14, but I won't be talking about that too much. I actually started a brand new game over on Stadia, which is Murder by Numbers, which is by the same people who make Fall Guys, which is a little bit weird,
Oh.
and I did not expect that
All right.
whatsoever.
Mediatonic?
Yeah, I was
wow.
not expecting that at all. It is a very
for
good
them.
game. Would highly recommend it, honestly, because it's just a very cute game where it's set in the 90s and you're an actress who just recently got fired, but also meet this robot who's trying to figure out like where he came from. And can help you scan things by it's a puzzle game, so you get like a chart that says like I don't even know what the name of the thing is. you have like it'll say like a bunch of numbers up at the top. It's like a grid, and then you have to like go down horizontally and vertically and like select the specific areas. And at the end, it makes an item. And obviously, since it's in the name, there is a murder. So you have to solve this with your brand new robot buddy, who is trying to figure out just where he came from. Also, finds out the very first scene what a tampon is, which is absolutely hilarious. So really recommend it.
Love that for him.
We love that. We love understanding of female products. And I started watching a show is also introducing Frank and Harv to it, which is Kim's Convenience, which is a very good Canadian show. Would highly recommend it. Has some familiar faces in the show. For example, the lead actor of Shang-Chi is in the show as the son, and it's very, very funny. It's very great. Like, it's really, really good as well. Also, I got to call out, like, just randomly had to stop the entire show to say, like, I recognize that photo. And there's a photo in the background that's from Nova Scotia. And I'm like, that's from Nova Scotia. And they're like, oh, cool. Cool, Fiona.
I love that for you.
I was really
It was
excited
pretty
because,
funny. It was
because
pretty
I
funny.
found the exact photo too. It's not even just like a photo that kind of looks like it. It is the exact photo from Google that they use on Kim's Convenience.
Mhm.
It's of a place called Mahone Bay. It's in the fall. You get to see the churches and the waterfront. And I was just like, this is a win for me. This is
It's usually I
Every
feel like
time I
if there's
see-
a I was gonna say if there's a picture in Canada, it's either that one or the one from Lake Louise in Alberta.
oh,
It's one of those two always. If somebody looks at like Canadian pictures that are really, really nice.
yeah. I mean, Mahone Bay is very pretty. Like, I am definitely I'm gonna just post this in general. So for the people who are in our Discord and you randomly see this photo and you're like, why is Fee just randomly posting this photo in our general chat? Great question. You now know, because you were listening to the podcast, and I appreciate you. Heart.
I get
Great show,
so
by the way. Kim's
excited
Convenience.
Anytime I see
Great.
It's pretty good.
anything about Nova Scotia, I think of you, Feet.
Good. Good. They mention it too,
Every
like
time.
they mentioned like Cape Breton on the first episode. I'm like, hey, Canada, Nova Scotia.
That's
Yeah.
as
Well,
much.
speaking of Canada,
I
Harv,
was-
what you been up
I
to?
was about to roast Canada. Or I was about to
What?
roast Nova Scotia, sorry.
Why?
Oh man. I don't think you know this, Mario, that the thing is okay, there it is. There it
I
is.
try to fix it.
There we go.
But then I'm like, is it
Um,
just frozen for me?
No, I was just gonna say that's the extent of notoriety that Nova Scotia is gonna get. Okay. On that note,
Brutal. Tough crowd.
on that note, I've been playing a couple of games. I've been playing 3 games this week. Obviously, Final Fantasy 14. We're still going on. We're just trucking along still. The other one that I've been playing is I play Sekiro. Because I'm trying to do the challenge run where I play one Dark Souls. Like I play every single Dark Souls game before Elden Ring comes out. Elden Ring comes out in end of January. I'm trying to finish them in one day. So I finished Sekiro twice to get all the endings, to get all the bosses. So it was pretty fun to go back to it. And then the other game that I played was Kiwi, which is a very, very cute co-op game where you're 2 birds. I guess are they a kiwi bird? Is that a bird?
Yes, it's a
That's a
bird.
bird. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know my what is it? Etymologist or etymology?
Etymology.
Is that
Mhm.
study of birds? That's study of birds.
That's study of birds.
I don't know like
I
what
don't-
they are. So it's like a puzzle co-op game where you can where you're two kiwis and you have to do these specific things, either like send a package somewhere, figure out what the message is, and then get the message and then send it off to like a big ostrich or with an ostrich. And then another one is like you have a big keyboard where you have to like work together in like different ornithology. There we go. Thank you, Fee.
Thank you, Dustin.
Or Dustin. Thank you, Dustin. Sorry, it wasn't like etymology, the study of words. Got it. See, there was something there. See, there was something there. So yeah, I was playing with Crafty. It's a really, really fun co-op game. And it's very cute. And the cool thing about it is that it starts off really easy, and then every time you go through a puzzle, they add a new element to it. So it's like there are mosquitoes everywhere, or like dragonflies where they just like take like your labels and put them somewhere else and stuff like that. Or there's like a big sandstorm that happens, and then you go through all 4 seasons, which is really, really cool. So I plan to play more of it soon, but I really highly recommend it co-op if you guys have somebody to play with and stuff like that. It's on Steam, and I don't know if it's on anything else. I'm pretty sure it's probably on everything, if it is. So I recommend it. Good game.
Yes.
Sounds awesome for sure.
I just want to chime in and add that Nardog, actually, no, I'm saying actually, he made a good point. The Curse of Oak Island is also in Nova Scotia, so just as a heads up, if you don't know what the Curse of Oak Island is, it is a show that's on the History Network, and it is all about an island off of Nova Scotia where a bunch of people have died trying to find this treasure over like the past 100 years or so. Yeah. It's pretty good. Highly recommend it.
Right.
It's a cute little island. Yeah. Yeah.
Finally, no,
Yeah.
you're the Toque.
Yeah.
You're the Toque. Oh, that's funny.
Bearded
I
Oh
troll
my
out of
God.
love beans.
All right, Frank, what have you been up to?
I've just been playing Final Fantasy, and Siege has gotten a weird like resurgence, so I've been playing a little bit of that. But otherwise, just that, some Project Zomboid. It's really kind of about it. I've been really heavy on Final Fantasy this week.
Yeah. Is there a new update that they added to
Anything?
Siege?
Yeah, they added a new operator. That's basically kind of about it. There's not really much else there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
I mean, the
excited
new
for
operator's kind
Extraction?
of cool. Not really. I feel like we're getting so flooded with those type of games now all of a sudden.
Yeah, the 3
I mean,
player.
we're back for Blood. You got the Aliens game coming out. You got this game coming out.
Evil
you know,
Dead.
Evil Dead coming out. There's so many of that same format game coming out. It's like so hard to.
I do
get
wonder
excited for it.
I wonder how Back 4 Blood's gonna do for when it gets
I
released.
hope
Like it's
it
coming
does
out mid-October, right? Mid-October
Oh, yeah.
is when it comes out. I'm intrigued to see how it does.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting it to blow people out of the water, but I hope it does well.
Not
Yeah.
that you have a personal stake in it a little bit.
I mean, I do have a personal stake in it, but
Mhm.
The only thing that I feel about when it comes to Back 4 Blood, I feel like it's gonna be one of those things that people are gonna play for like 3 weeks or like a month, and then I don't know if it has a longevity unless they keep adding maps and they keep adding new stuff to it constantly, like a season pass or something like that to it. But it's also a full price game too, so
Yeah.
that's a barrier for people.
we'll see.
Why does that keep changing? I hope we get sort of past this idea that things need to continue on like they do. But, you know, everyone has to feel like things need to go on and go on. Honestly, it's good for games to go away for some time and come back later. Like in October, I expect all of us to get spooky for Dead by Daylight. So I'm hoping that we get a chance to play some of that game or some other spooky games. Like you had a resurgence with like Phasmophobia out of nowhere. So
Mhm.
Great update.
Oh, my
Great
God.
update.
so
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, that was the thing.
Nice healthy cycles.
exactly. Like, you know,
Yeah.
some people get back into Destiny. I don't know.
It's fresh.
They ain't me, but someone is.
Yeah, and then the 10 people are playing Avengers.
Exactly. You know, the same 10
I am
people.
Same one of
Same 10
those
people
10
are still
people.
playing.
Yeah.
Then they
So
get
I'm pretty sure you're now
resurgence
11.
to 30. Then they get the resurgence up to 30, and they're like, "Oh damn, we got a record high."
Listen, Spider-Man's coming. It's going to be great. Don't you worry.
Wasn't Spider-Man supposed to come out like 2 years ago?
No, they never said when Spider-Man was coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like it was announced 2 years
Now
ago.
they actually have a plan. It says fall winter, so we'll see. When
they actually got like a.
they have a roadmap coming out for the next couple months. So
Okay.
there's some growth happening.
See how well they stick to it.
Yeah, we'll
but-
see. We'll see how Wakanda done. has done for this community.
Mario, what have you been up to?
I've definitely I've actually taken the most extended vacation from the podcast, allowing hopefully some time to pass and just take a break every now and then. So have been doing a lot of stuff, and I'm just gonna nail it down to the like 4 things. I've been watching a lot of movies. One movie specifically that I'm happy that I'm finally able to check off my list of shame is another David Lynch film, who of course I'm a massive fan of Twin Peaks. And I always wanted to check out his film, which supposedly has been like lauded as like one of his classics that I've never seen, called Mulholland Drive. And I watch it, and it's 1000% a David Lynch film. It's fucking weird and makes no damn sense and is totally out there, but keeps pulling me in some strange, weird ways. And then by the end of the film, I'm like, wait a minute, there was something there. And then you start putting the pieces together and start collecting, and it's like this beautiful, nasty-looking puzzle piece that is about like sleazy Hollywood and actresses and amnesia, and there's like a hitman that's inept, and there's a gross creature in the back of a restaurant, and then there's a lot going on. I highly recommend watching this
David
film.
Lynch film.
David Lynch, yeah, it's 100% a David Lynch film.
Right up.
It was supposed to be actually a spin-off of Twin Peaks, where one of the characters, Audrey Horne, goes to Hollywood, and this was going to happen to her. Thank God, now that I've seen what happened in the film, that it was not that. But as its own piece of art, I thought it was fantastic, and I still think about it to this day, the same way that I think about Blue Velvet and Lost Highway and some other films that he's done. Twin Peaks still obviously being way up there for me. But yeah, definitely was excited to finally cross that off my David Lynch of shame list. I have been playing some video games. Obviously, Artful Escape, like I said, near the top of the show. I'm excited to talk about that tomorrow in a video that I'm releasing that hopefully everyone will see by now. And if you haven't seen it, how dare you? Put a lot of work into that. And the game that I'm very excited that I finally got to dip. And I want to thank Frank real quick. The man, he came through. He gave me a copy of the game, of course, is Metal Gear Solid 4. I beat Peace Walker. And there's a drag race happening outside my house. Sorry about that. And finally, hold on. Sorry, I'm going to ban somebody from the chat again.
I got it.
Thank you. Of course, the game didn't work on my PS3. It's probably a problem with the PS3 in the way that, they did it back in the day, or how this system is. It's an older system. So a friend gave it to me. So I decided to try PS Now. And I got to tell you, speaking of Stadia, in terms of services, I'm really impressed by PS Now. And honestly, I am running it on the PS5. It is playing the modem from I don't have a wired connection from my PS5 to my modem. They're not that far from each other. They're like less than 5 feet away. So that probably has a lot to do with it. But honestly, I've been playing through this PS3 game, and it's running like it's natively on my system. Like it's that pretty good, pretty crisp in terms of display and the way that it shows on the screen. Like sometimes when I play like on Stadia, or if I play on xCloud, sometimes I can see like the artifice of like a streaming service, but so far I have not seen it in this, which is pretty surprising. I'm not going to hold it to that standard. I'm sure there will be instances when I try the service on other games where it will not be as up to snuff. And to be fair, a lot of this game is cutscene, move a little bit, cutscene, move a little bit, cutscene. But at the same time, when I actually do the stealth, I don't feel like the game is going to fail on me when I play. So honestly, try PS Now. They gave me a 7-day free trial, so I'm trying to finish the game in there. I'm like halfway through already. And I'm excited to try other stuff that are on there, especially PS3 games that I have not tried that are also on the service. And I really wish Sony would talk about it more, because it's really good. I really wish that there was something that they were focusing on, and maybe combining with this PlayStation Plus, 18 games service that they have, and just say, hey, this is the service. Like, this works. And that's what I'm looking forward to trying and seeing what they do with it, because it legit shocked me it works. And the fact that I don't even need a PlayStation, you can do it on your PC and just play PlayStation games right there too. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4, fantastic game. Very excited to finish it.
How far are you?
One thing I also
Chapter
want
3.
to add. One thing I also want to add is when we were watching The Circle season 3
Oh, I'm so
as
mad.
well. Season 4.
They started watching it without me.
It's season 3.
Season 3. Yeah, we started watching Circle season 3. It's something.
Oh, is it better than season 2?
I miss season 2. Let's just say that. I miss
Oh,
season 2.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
I like the mixture of the British people, like British people on the show with Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was really, really cool to see like the different dynamics and stuff.
Your
Everybody just seems like they're from Florida. Honestly.
Is it the
Yeah, it
Jersey
was
Shore
like-
season?
It was just so many people from Florida, and they're like,
God.
I'm super spunky and really out of my element, and I'm from Miami, Florida. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, and then there's a girl who's like pretending to be her best friend's boyfriend, which like that seems suspicious. Like that just seems like a very
Don't be
weird thing to
suspicious.
do.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah, like why out of anyone you would specifically decide to like impersonate as your best friend's boyfriend? It just seems it just seems weird to me.
Sure.
It's very, very weird. But yeah, no.
All right. I haven't been playing anything new. I'm still playing Avengers, replaying Spider-Man, all that good stuff. But I've been reading a lot of comics. Like, a lot. Which is great. I'm having so much fun. Marvel, really good, y'all. I know I'm late. I'm so late to the party, but I'm happy to be here now that I am. I have a pretty substantial list of comics to read, but you all out there on the internet, if you have any issues, runs, series that I have to check out, please let me know. I'm always looking for more stuff to put on my list. But that's been great. I also want to give a shout out. I got a new mug today. It says Hoomst, and it's from Pod and Prejudice, which is a podcast about reading Pride and Prejudice. And if that's not the most on-brand thing in my life, I don't know what is. Oh, and then this morning, if you haven't checked it out, the Come From Away Pro Shot dropped on Apple TV Plus. I sobbed my eyes out through the whole show. No shocker. Come From Away, very good. Good for a solid cry. Shout out to them.
We all need that every now and then.
It's so good. I could rant forever about Come From Away. We'll save that for a different show. But with that, that's been the Trek Point. So I'm going to toss it over to Frank. Let's get into the patch notes.
Yeah,
What's up with the news?
Get into the patch notes.
Yeah, into the nitty gritty.
There's a lot of news today, so I'm gonna make this kind of quick. Our first article this week comes from Screen Rant's Kyle Grattan. Everything revealed at the PlayStation Showcase on September of 2021. So guys, the PlayStation Showcase is come and gone, and we got some insane reveals this week. I kind of have them more in like a bullet point order, so I'm just gonna kind of list them off, and we'll just talk about it. So we got looks at Guardians, Deathloop, Rainbow Six Extraction, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, GTA 5, and Blood Hunt. I put these all together specifically because these are games that we've either seen or we're getting little smaller looks at
And
right now.
Ghostwire as well.
Ghost. We'll get back to Ghostwire in a minute. It's Ghostwire is a little bit ahead, but yeah, I mean every one of these games except for GTA 5 looks good. GTA 5 is weird, man. It's like I don't know what they're doing with this enhanced edition that they're bringing out. If it's just a few little like creature comforts that people didn't like about like the PS4 and PS3 versions of the game. But it just seems like it's just GTA 5 again, but utilizing the SSD. That's basically
Isn't there supposed to be some story stuff to it?
No, it's the same story. The only difference now is that it's like it's like seamless character switching, which you can do on a PC anyway, so it's not really all that different. And then of course you got Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I know some of us aren't really fans of Borderlands here.
Middling
cool.
to decent. I'd play
Yeah,
that.
it looks cool. I'd play this one. I'd play this one. It's all right. It looks cool. Looks D&D. If you're into the D&D crowd, you're probably gonna want to play this.
Nardog now on the PS37, GTA 5.
Exactly.
right.
GTA 5 is gonna outlive us all somehow.
Damn right.
GTA 5 was at the PlayStation conference for I think PlayStation 3 in 2010.
Yeah,
Yes, I
sounds
believe
about
And
right.
now we're 2021 and it's here.
We're still
PlayStation
getting
conference.
these fucking things.
Yeah.
I think we talked about Siege earlier, so I'm not going to bring it up. But yeah, it's the same game everybody else is doing right now. Deathloop looks good. Stop showing it already and just fucking release it. It's 4 days away. We did not
I
need
feel like we've
spend
seen
5 minutes.
all of it. Like,
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be a short game closer to like Dishonored 1, which kind of annoys the fact that they keep fucking showing new stuff there.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, we get it. We know what the game's already doing. The game's releasing at the time in 4 days. We didn't need to waste time at the Sony conference for another Deathloop trailer. And then Guardians. We got another look at Guardians. It looks just like a James Gunn film. But,
They didn't
in-
use any. They used DMCA free music on this trailer. It looked like, so it
Did they?
didn't. Yeah, so it didn't. It didn't have that same punch as like the first trailer did, in my opinion. Because music is a big thing for Guardians of the Galaxy, right? It gets you hyped up. It
Mhm.
gets you ready for what like the battle and stuff.
I heard
So-
that the music actually is in-game music. So Star-Lord apparently gets his name from a band in this game, and someone created that music for the band Star-Lord.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's possible that
Nice.
that's the music.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it
that's
was
their way of
That's
putting.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it also makes it a little bit stream friendly once
Yeah.
the game actually comes out and people can actually stream it online in hopes that they
Which
don't
sucks.
DMCA that music.
yes.
Which sucks. But like a
Cool.
big identity of Guardians of the Galaxy is the music, and music that like I guess
yeah,
we
but I
attach to,
think-
right?
I always love creative uses of music, and I think having a in-game music group and
Mhm.
creating music for that, I think
Yeah.
that'll be really interesting to see. And of course, it's not going to have the same emotional weight to music we already know, but I think that's really cool.
And we'll
that they're
still-
doing that.
yeah, and we'll
Yeah,
still have-
OSTs are definitely a lot more superior than just a random licensed soundtrack. 100%.
Yeah, and we'll still have those hits too. So I'm excited for both. Just trailer-wise, makes sense.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
100%.
even streaming the game, you won't be able to stream the game with that other music on.
No, but you can hopefully then switch it to Star-Lord, and then you
Yeah.
got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if I said Blood Hunt already. That's still a game. I still get emails about joining the alpha on this.
I
Uh,
was wondering.
It was this. It was
that was the
it-
game
it
that kept
hap- it
pissing
started.
me. It's already out. So it
Yeah,
kept
yeah.
pissing me off. I'm like, why is it here? It's already out. But it's on
Yeah,
PC. It's not on console.
It's weird. I have a love-hate relationship with this game, specifically because I really love the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines series, but that series has just been kind of rewritten, redone. Everybody's got a kind of different idea of what Vampire the Masquerade is supposed to be nowadays, and it's just a shadow of its former self at this point. To the point where we're not even getting Bloodlines 2 probably. Because nobody knows what Bloodlines 2 is really kind of supposed to be at this point.
Was that announced too? Was it?
It was
Oh,
it was supposed to come out
announced
this
and
year.
shown.
Yeah,
Like,
and there's
that was the one
gameplay
that
and
was
everything.
delayed,
Sure.
definitely, I think, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, the hell.
it's just turmoil in the studio. Nobody knows what Vampire the Masquerade is supposed to be, and to that end, I say play Bloodlines and get the same feel of Bloodlines. It's not that difficult. It's edgy vampires. Think Blade 2. You know what I mean? There's no extra
Think a
subtext
Blade
that has
2
to be
game.
there. But yeah, we also got a look at a new game called Project Eve. Honestly, to me, it looks like every hack and slash kind of in one game, and it's super glossy.
I actually like the showing of this
Accurate.
game. I actually
I think
really
it
like the
looks
showing of
really
this game.
good, but I think it looks really good because it just looks like every other game that we like.
I was expecting this game to be from what's the studio? The next hack and slash Platinum Games.
Platinum.
I
Yeah,
was
we
like- I
both
was
thought it
ex-
was Platinum.
Yeah,
everyone did.
yeah.
On the stream, we were like, "Oh, it's near. Oh, it's Project Parasite
I
Eve."
said it was near at first.
Yeah, that's what Frank said.
We were like, "Oh, is this
'Cause
Parasite Eve?" I don't know anything about
Just
Parasite Eve.
looking, there's a shot where she's like walking, and I'm like, that is literally the near animation.
Yeah.
even
so-
even just the environment,
the little
looked
robot
very
buddy
near-esque.
too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
The
Yeah.
fighting style itself looked good, but I know I said this when we were watching it. It just seems like this is gonna be a weird way to explain a video game. It looks wet because everything is so glossy that everything looks like there's just water on it. The hair, the suit, the monsters, the street, everything just seems wet, and I'm not a particular fan of that particular style. Like, I understand that rain happens, but it's everywhere. Like, inside, outside, when
It's like
she's doing
sand.
flips, it's just like
It's like sand, it
there's
gets
some
everywhere.
water, and I'm like, okay, like, I understand that that's an art type of style, but it just makes me almost feel uncomfortable watching
It was too
So,
much.
It was
It
too
was-
much gloss.
Yeah, it was too wet.
Yeah,
it's too wet.
like get
It's like sand, but not coarse.
Yeah.
get a demi gloss.
All right,
And
it's
moving on.
It's that weird, like, it's that style of those type of games.
Yeah.
It's not a new concept of these type of games that we've seen, but it's so weird to see them at like the PlayStation conference.
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic gets a remake. It's a PES timed exclusive.
Looks good.
Yeah.
I have thoughts about this.
Okay,
I think it's so weird that Sony of all people gets the remake. Somebody said they probably got it because of like some back end Marvel deal, but like
I honestly do think it's John Drake because he used to work at Sony. Doesn't he used to work at Sony?
it could be it.
he used. Dude, that's a good point.
And he's running Lucasfilms.
He's over there
The
at the
gaming
Star Wars
division.
land. Yeah, doing Star Wars
Very,
stuff.
very possible.
Or
That'd
Disney, I
be a
think.
good way of thinking that. Yeah, the
Yeah.
only reason I think it's weird is just because like the PC crowd has kept kind of Knights of the Old Republic very much alive throughout all these years, and Xbox to an extent as well.
I was gonna
With
say
the
it's
backwards
a PC
compatibility.
Xbox game. Yeah, it's a PC
Exactly.
Xbox game,
To
yeah.
be
So to throw it on PlayStation, kind of just like, okay, we kept this game kind of alive and constantly talked about, and the people who are keeping that game alive and constantly talked about are the ones not even getting the game.
To be fair, though, if I'm not mistaken, the last several years, Sony and PlayStation and Star Wars have been hand in hand in terms of releases and extra bonuses stuff. I'm pretty sure Battlefront had a large push on PlayStation. So to me, it just makes sense that they're just continuing that relationship. And, you know, it is a timed exclusive. Hopefully it's not timed exclusive as very much like, what was it? Final Fantasy, where I don't think it's still not coming out to other consoles yet.
Oh, it's definitely. There was some data mine showing that like it's possibly coming to like the Epic Game Store and stuff like that. But
In
like
a
you
year
gotta
probably. It's
yeah, you
probably
gotta
a
take
year.
those things with a grain of salt. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it's still been a while. So, you know, I'm hoping that it's not as bad as that. But, you know, like this was actually a kind of a year for surprises of Sony getting the Xbox stuff from a long time ago, right? So you got KOTOR,
Yeah.
and then you also have Alan Wake that was showed later.
Yes,
So,
that's actually the next one here.
Yeah.
But I just found that kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like the two crowds that kind of kept it alive are the ones not getting the game. But on that topic too,
I think it's a nice opportunity though to give to a crowd that hasn't really had the opportunity to experience this game yet. What it does kind of feel like a middle finger to the other two, but it's nice to see it. I'm always excited when games get brought to new platforms in new ways, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll see.
I'm also very intrigued to see how they're going to change this game.
yeah, remake seems a lot more different than remaster for me in that respect. So I got a feeling they're probably going to pick and choose what they want to keep within that Knights of the Old Republic story, and obviously make that canon in the Star Wars universe.
Well,
People are
like,
very excited because like Revan's finally going to maybe be canon in this universe now.
Yeah, because like you look at Demon Souls, that's a complete remake of the game, right? But they kept all of like the DNA of the game there when it comes to the fights and stuff like that. When it comes to combat, so maybe they'll keep like the same kind of combat with it, but like just visuals
hope
will just
not.
be really, really, really good.
I will tell you, as somebody who's played KOTOR close to about almost a year ago now, the combat has not aged well. That combat system needs a complete overhaul.
Is it a turn-based game?
It feels kind of like, have you ever seen Witcher 1 combat?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the greatest in the world.
It's very pause
I'm
and start,
thinking.
pause and start, pause and start kind of,
Yeah,
turn based.
I mean, we'd probably be used to it if we're playing Final Fantasy.
And hey,
but
if you
know
have
how it is.
the original game, you could still play it on your Series X and Series S because that's how I played it, and it has a 60 FPS boost on it now, and it looks kind of nice.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like Xbox has kind of kept that game alive, man. People were super excited when KOTOR was like backwards compatible and like you can play it on the new systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But on that, we also have Forspoken got shown off as well. Looks really, really good.
Oh my
God!
Here's some.
It
Here's some.
There's some
footage,
shots in that game where I'm like, damn, dude.
They're taking the Luminous engine and fucking running with it. That's what they're doing right
so
now.
is this the engine that runs on Avengers? Because
No, this is the Final Fantasy 15 one.
Final Fantasy 15, interesting.
Yeah, this is that engine.
I'm just concerned about her cat, guys. What's gonna happen to her cat? Like, she just left it in the other realm. Like,
That cat has huge eyes too. Did you notice that?
yeah, like,
I mean, I feel like the cat would be safer there than here, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
You got dragons here. The cat's not gonna be able to do anything against a dragon.
I mean, a cat companion would be pretty cute. You know what I mean?
No, I mean,
Yeah, fair.
totally. I'm over the moon for this. By the way, written by Gary Whitta and Amy Hennig, who penned the first 3 Uncharted games. So I'm super stoked for whatever this is because it very much fits in the same style. And I brought this up in my Artful Escape video. It's the same trope of person from normal world goes into fantasy world and goes on an adventure. Like, it's the same trope. I love them. I love so many of them.
Yeah, it's isekai.
I love
It's an
a
isekai.
good second world
an
story.
isekai.
I was trying to avoid saying the word because I.
I'll say it dead ass right now.
Good. I like the fact that it's an isekai. It's an anime.
An
trope,
isekai.
guys.
It's the Last
Get over it.
Starfighter.
There's
It's
tons
Page
of them.
Master.
There's like
It's an
Warriors of
American.
Virtue.
It's an American isekai. That's all it is.
There's like
Okay,
5
y'all,
releases
I
to
can only handle so much crosstalk. I'm sorry, I love you, but 4 people talking at the same time
bad.
is a little much.
My bad.
All right, but yeah, it looks really good.
One thing I want to say is that this one doesn't look as jarring when she's in normal clothes like Strangers in Paradise did. When those guys walk up, you're just like, what fucking urban planet did you fucking raid before you came over here?
Straight up though, she has Converse and flannel and looks dope.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Okay.
She's wearing what every character
Yeah.
has worn, and like every character we see in these trailers is wearing the same fucking clothes. Even the Saints are wearing the goddamn flannels and chucks.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
She was doing a startup
Okay.
and then she got sucked into the fantasy world.
I was gonna say she's from San Francisco. She was just sitting over there on her desk.
If I moved to San Francisco, do you just get like a flannel and chucks? Is that just like the standard?
Right when you get to your apartment and you want to rent your apartment, it's on the table already for you. Your starter kit is there.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
Mario and I were on a podcast this week, the penultimate podcast, talking about some of our predictions. And we were talking about how Alan Wake Remaster was probably going to be insanely well done and completely different than Alan Wake. And we finally got a reveal on it. And it's just an upres.
Yeah, it is just an upres.
It's just an upres. I love you, Remedy. Don't get me wrong. Remedy, I fucking love you. You make amazing games. I don't give a shit about this remaster. I'm sorry. It doesn't look too crazy different. I understand you remodeled Alan. It's fine. To me, this could have been an update to the game or something like that, but it just, I don't know. I don't feel like this was it, man. This was the play.
For people who have played Alan Wake, or do you think this is for people who missed it and
Honestly,
are wanting to get back into it?
Alan Wake has been given away for free for so long at this point that if you haven't played Alan Wake, you haven't played Alan Wake because you don't want to play Alan Wake.
Well, to be fair,
though,
a
it's
total
never been on
console,
PlayStation.
a console has completely been missed on it. So if you are just a PlayStation person, this is going to be your first time. It was Xbox originally for forever, and PC, obviously.
Yeah, like Humble Bundle has given it away. Xbox has given it away multiple times. It's on Game Pass. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like this wasn't it. I now that I think about it, I do understand that Sony people haven't played the game yet. This is good for them, but
I mean,
you know,
it reinforces the fact that I don't have to pay $60. I'll just go play my old one, which I haven't finished. So
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
like I was looking forward to it because I was like, man, I would like to go back into the Alan Wake universe, maybe with some revised controls because those controls haven't aged very well. But it looks like I'm just gonna play the Game Pass version again, just all the way through.
Yeah,
which is fine. You know, it's just not my. It wasn't that remaster's not built for my target audience. You know. And then we got another look at Ghostwire. This is just my opinion on this already. It just looks like it should have already released years ago. And after all these trailers and looks and all these things, I still have no idea what the fuck this game's about. I don't think anybody does. I don't think they even know what this game's about at this point.
Yeah, that game looked rough. That game looked rough.
It's starting to
wise,
I think
frame rate wise.
people think they know what it is, but every single person has a different idea of what it is. That's
Yeah.
the vibe I was getting.
Yeah, it's been through so much different internal problems with, you know, the creative director leaving, with Bethesda now being owned by Microsoft. It makes the whole exclusivity thing a little hard to do. Yeah, it just feels like it's a game that should have been released years ago at this point. And it's starting to show its age very heavily now. And the fact that they're still kind of mum on like what exactly you're supposed to do in this game. Like, I think you're supposed to be like an exorcist and you're exorcising ghosts, but those look like Slendermen.
Yeah.
I don't know. The main character, if that is the main character, he looks like that one guy from The Good Place, Jason, I think his name is. Just, I don't know, just look like a goofball. So.
Well, I imagine like the way that it's placed, they're based on like Japanese folklore, like yokai. So like
yeah.
they're almost like modern day versions of different yokai that you'd see in like Japanese myths and legends. So it's probably why it looks a little bit strange to us. But honestly, the best way to just like not set expectations for your viewers is just not tell anyone how the game's supposed to be or how it's supposed to be played or the story premise. So you know what? Do you, Ghostwire? I look forward to playing this game in 2030.
I was gonna say,
guys-
2030.
we have no release date for this game.
Yeah,
at
it was
all.
still no release date either. That's crazy.
I just want to see this game evolve into something absolutely bonkers by 2030 because I think that's the the trajectory of this game at the moment.
Yeah, and it makes me sad because Tango Gameworks can make some insanely good games. Evil Within is so fucking good. Both of them are, if you like that genre of game, are masterpieces. If you don't like that genre of game, some people don't. I understand that. But this, it sucks because this game, ultimately, with everybody being so disinterested in it, is probably ultimately going to fail with all the problems it's had. And the only people who are going to kind of suffer for it is Tango Gameworks. And it sucks because that means we probably won't see maybe even Evil Within return or anything like that. I don't even know if Shinji Mikami is still even at the studio anymore.
Yeah,
as,
because
like, the
this
directive lead.
wasn't his game.
Yeah, this was Miki Nakamura's game, I believe her name
and
is.
I don't think he's even working on this game even
Yeah.
now after direction change.
Mhm. And Nakamura has since left the studio to go pursue a more indie-focused studio, I believe, if I'm correct. And it sucks, you know what I mean? Just to see like a studio that had so many good, talented people in the horror space kind of just, you know, dissolve. But hey, hopefully I'm wrong and Tokyo releases and it's a fucking 10 out of 10 game. You know what I mean? I would love it. I would love to be wrong because I love Tango Gameworks and I hope nothing but the best for them.
Calling it now. Game of the year 2030.
Maybe.
There you go.
This is not a game, but they showed an interactive exhibit and it looked like a cool horror game. It was so disappointing that it's just an interactive exhibit.
Hey, I like Radiohead.
I mean,
excited.
it's their new album, right?
It's their new album. Yeah, it's their like remix of their Kid A album, I think. So it's an
And let me
existing
guess,
album.
their own that studio is published by Sony's probably music group.
I'm actually not sure. That's actually a good point. I'm very curious. But they were
I
teasing
wonder-
this earlier, and then we didn't know it was a game. So
Yeah, it's just it's like it's not really it's more just like an
It's an
interactive
experience.
exhibit from what they described it as. So you're just kind of like looking at environments.
But the thing is, like,
Kinda
it
cool.
literally when we saw it, it was like 5 seconds. We're
Yeah.
in, we're out. It was whatever, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if
it's just
you're
a
a
weird
radio-
place to put it in your state of
Yeah.
play.
I guess.
If you're a Radiohead fan, that's great for you.
It's
right?
going your PlayStation though, which is cool. I mean, it's an I mean, yeah, I guess it's not a quote unquote game, but at the same time, it's like it's an interactive thing. So, is that considered a game? I don't know. Either way,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when it comes out, though.
We could have a whole debate about that.
yeah, we could.
Tachia announced. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
Yeah.
Tachia
You mean
announced.
Breath of the Wild?
Oh, hold on. Announced. It looks like a cool Wind Waker like adventure game. It is definitely not a kids game.
This looked great. This looked like a fly ass game. Looked like a Fias game. I think we're gonna enjoy it.
It looked
Yeah.
like a Fias game when it was announced last year as a Stadia game.
Yes, that's what I remember it from. I was like, I've seen this. Like, I
Oh,
was
they
like, I've
stole
seen this
it?
game.
So-
Somewhere.
Rip Stadia.
It was announced at the PlayStation showcase that it was a PlayStation 5 and Epic Play Store. And someone went on Twitter and said, "Hey, I thought this was a Stadia game." And the people who released it were like, "Yeah, unfortunately, that didn't end up happening." They specifically said, "Unfortunately, our partnership with Stadia did not work out. We had to adapt quickly and found found a home on the PlayStation and Epic Game Store. This enables us to be to keep working on the game and make it the best that it can be." So yeah,
Good for them for
Yeah.
dealing with a shitty situation. But RIP
Yeah.
Stadia.
It feels bad for Stadia.
I mean, I wouldn't say RIP Stadia. It just means that the specific
I
game
mean,
is just not currently coming to Stadia at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks cool. Mario is 100% right. It does. It's one of those weird, like, it looks so creatively good, but then they do stuff like, here's a Breath of the Wild mechanic, and it's like, okay. I guess.
Listen, if anyone's ever said that Breath of the Wild wasn't going to influence the industry for the last 10 years of game
Right.
development,
It's
you're
like
a
how
fucking liar, because it
it's
definitely
like how the
did.
Bourne Identity just like made every film look exactly the same.
True.
Right?
Every fight scene has to be like quick cuts and like
Shaky
up close,
camera and
shaky
yeah.
cam.
I mean-
Now every game has to have a climbing mechanic with a gliding mechanic,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like it's okay. I'm probably gonna play it because the adventure game space right now is very, very. There's nothing really much there in terms of like that fun, like kind of Legend of Zelda like game. So.
And to be honest, it looks like a game where I don't murder anything. That's a win.
And it's on a PlayStation. You don't have that kind of Legend of Zelda like game on a PlayStation. So
No, unless you're playing
Yeah.
Ocean Horn
Yeah, yeah.
or Tunic.
Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection announced for PS5 and PC.
So pissed.
It's Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy with graphical upgrades and I believe other kind of quality of life upgrades.
Heyo, shout out to Lost Legacy.
So that is the Uncharted game I have not played yet.
Great.
Yeah.
So I am.
It was like
excited-
$40.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited to play it when it comes to PC now because I can actually play it in 60 frames per second now. And,
Yes.
you know,
And then don't
and
quote
high
me on
graphics
this.
quality.
I've heard from multiple sources, like multiple people. I can't find any evidence of it yet. But apparently the other games were announced that they're coming to PC as well, like Uncharted 1 through 3.
I
I've
didn't
heard
see
multiple
that
people say
anywhere.
this. I didn't see it said anywhere. I didn't see any articles on it, but I've seen multiple people say this, that the whole Uncharted series is coming
So
to PC.
I looked at the blog because, right after the showcase, they had like blog posts for every single release, and there was nothing there specifically.
That's
But I
that's
don't
what I thought, too.
see down the road where I can't,
Yeah, that's where I was like, I didn't put it in there because I don't know, but if I am wrong, this is me letting people know that I'm probably, that it might be there, it might not be there. I don't know. I haven't found any evidence of
Yeah,
it.
this collection is specifically about 4 and Lost Legacy that I've seen.
Yeah, it's a Legacy of Thieves bundle. It's 2 games bundled
Listen,
into
if
one.
there's no bundle with Golden Abyss, then I don't want to buy it.
Damn.
Yeah. Gran Turismo 7 looks absolutely bonkers. Level of insane to the point where, like, I swear to God, sometimes I could not figure out whether or not I was looking at a game or if I was looking at legitimate real life footage. And I don't say that lightly, you know what I mean? I'm the first one to scrutinize a game for fucking up, but this game
Oh,
looks
absolutely.
absolutely bonkers level of fucking detail. You can definitely tell why they took so long to get this game out on the new systems.
And they
New
have
system.
they have a release date for it, which is weird that they didn't show it in the actual conference thing, the showcase.
To be fair, as someone who's a video editor, I can understand deadlines, and it's possible that they just needed the video to be compiled.
Yeah.
And they could just put the date out later, you know. On
Yeah.
Blog
Yeah,
Post.
because
But-
Herman Holt said that it's coming out in March. So
Okay.
March is looking scary.
Not for me. I'm
very
not buying
sure.
it, but I'm happy
March
for.
No, no,
recently has
it's not
gotten
even
really
Gran
busy.
Turismo.
Yeah.
It's just every other game is coming out in
And
March.
February. Oh my god.
And, yeah.
Doesn't matter to you,
But
man.
Gran-
When
Elden
does
Ring
the
is all
start
you
of the
need.
year get to be so popping?
Oh
Like-
my god! Next year is gonna have so many releases, which is good because 2021 has felt kind of bankrupt. I mean, there has been great indie releases out to kind of mull over the big AAA like releases and stuff like that. But man, it's made it so easy to play Final Fantasy 14 when you don't really have much to play right now.
I don't know when this
Yeah.
the slide answer.
2021.
No, I was gonna say this
Sorry.
to answer your
Go ahead.
question. I don't know when the cycles end, but game goes basically based on cycles. So probably the main reason is because they need to be done by I think it's the first quarter or the fourth quarter. I'm not sure, but
Well, the first quarter starts in March.
so it starts in
so-
March. So then they're probably just like get the hell out, and then
Either
yeah.
it starts in March or it ends March, and April is the first quarter.
That
I
could
think that's
could
how it
be
goes
it.
because it's every 3 months. So I'm guessing they want to get it out before the quarter ends.
Yes, that's why there's the
I
summer
think
drought.
March is the end of the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, March. I think it is.
Yeah,
All right, fellas. Now for the nitty gritty news from the PlayStation conference. The big news, the news that apparently was throw your phone in the toilet level of crazy. If you remember, some people were saying that it's like, okay, cool. I was expecting some crazy news, but we did get one insane piece of news, and that is Insomniac is working on a Wolverine game.
madness.
Wolverine
I
is finally
have-
getting a game.
Things to say.
Madness.
Yeah, Mario and I have. This is something I feel like Mario and I put out there in the universe very, very long ago when we were working together and we had nothing to do between the 10-hour work days that we were doing. And I think we were talking about this one year, Mario, where we're just like, if anybody should do anything after Spider-Man, it's Insomniac should do a Wolverine game. And they're doing it. It's happening. We're
Yeah.
getting a Wolverine game from Insomniac.
Yeah, we are, and I can't believe it. I definitely want to hear your side. What do you have to say about this? Because I know that you're heavily into the Spider-Man games, and Insomniac can do no wrong. They have not done wrong within the last since what was that game? Sunset Overdrive. They've done nothing but bangers ever since.
Sunset Overdrive
I mean,
was a
yeah.
banger. What?
Yeah, but
I'm
Sunset
here for
Overdrive was a banger.
Insomniac.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm here for Insomniac. I'm here for them doing things with Marvel properties. I think they're gonna do great. I saw a lot of people throwing out white people wanting to be cast as Wolverine. If they do not hire an indigenous voice actor, I will be very disappointed.
Wolverine indigenous?
I still yeah.
I thought he was just. I'm pretty sure he's just a Canadian who lives out in the woods.
I'm very new to Marvel in general, but I read through all of the Echo comics, and there's a run with Echo who goes on a vision quest and meets Wolverine, and they have this beautiful interaction. It's really gorgeous story, gorgeous art. But yeah, like Wolverine is Canadian First Nations, at least in that run. I don't know about the rest of it, but I really hope they preserve that and respect that, and we get to see that in this game.
Huh, there's actually a
Because
lot of
that
His
articles
mom
about
and
that.
dad are like rich people. Like they're like they own a manor and stuff, if I remember correctly. Like they are like high up there, kind of wealthy people of their time.
All right, I have no idea. Again, it's just that one instance in the comics that I really know him from. But yeah,
I'm reading like a bunch of articles real quick, and they're like, there's a lot of people arguing for the fact that that should be a thing. Huh.
He's from Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, he's
Interesting.
from Alberta. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am just
Um,
very excited for for Wolverine, Insomniac Wolverine,
I
because
would, yeah. Wow.
this
Absolutely.
team is the team that's making Wolverine is the Miles Morales team. So I'm not expecting like a 40-hour, 50-hour thing out of this. I'm expecting like a 10 to 20-hour experience
Yeah,
when it
I
comes to
mean,
Wolverine, which is what
and
I want from him. Honestly, that is
that's
a
all you
perfect-
need.
That's all I need.
Yeah, I was talking to Harv about this when it was announced, and it was like, this isn't. I don't think this is going to be an open world game, because Wolverine is not the character who kind of does a lot of open world stuff. Like, he typically just walks to places. Like, he's like that. He's that lax. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, it would not make sense to put him in a big New York City and just prototype it and just have him like just running at Mach 10, running up walls and stuff like that. But I would like to see, like, pretty decently sized hub worlds. You know what I mean? Wolverine is a very stealth oriented character. He does do like run in and go crazy and stuff like that, but he's a lot like Spider-Man in the sense that, like, he does, or Batman, where he does a little, he scouts out an area, he can take people out silently and stuff like that, and if the alarm is tripped, then he goes crazy. Which makes sense for Insomniac doing it, because they already have all those mechanics in Spider-Man. They have a stealth mechanic, they have a perch mechanic, they have everything. They have the structure basically there. So something like this should fit at home, especially with, like, combat and stuff like that.
My first general thoughts when I thought about, because I wrote a tweet yesterday talking about this, and I wanted it to be a smaller story in the sense of The Last of Us, but it doesn't have to be Last of Us. But the more I thought about it, I think I kind of wanted more in the line of God of War, where it's very up close and personal in terms of the combat and stuff like that, and not so much a combo fest like the Batman games. I think that a long time ago, I was totally into the Batman combat, as it should be every superhero game, and then you get Spider-Man, and we had a few Batman games since then, and honestly, I'm totally fine with them changing it up and not having it be this arcadey thing that all these other games have done for years. So I wouldn't mind it for it to be more cinematic focused, but then again, that's Sony's MO. That's what people have been doing for forever. By the way, I'm going down this rabbit hole with the Indigenous thing, and I'm starting to get convinced. I'm like, that's actually a smart ass idea. So I'm gonna read some of these articles.
Well, I want to.
I mean, it all depends on
think
what run
was-
they take out of this, right?
Yeah,
It all
I mean,
kinda-
They
you
don't
can
have
always
to do-
rewrite.
they don't have
you
to
can
take
always
any run.
rewrite like any
Yeah, they
kind of
don't.
Wolverine
Yeah, they
story.
don't. Yeah.
They look like they're doing more of like a classic Wolverine here, with the flannel, the hat.
That doesn't
even
mean
mentioning
anything.
Hulk 180. Well, I mean, that's a classic look for him. What are you talking about?
But he doesn't. I mean, that person, an Indigenous person, could wear that. It's not a problem.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's the look that they're kind of going for, is that more classic Wolverine look, like mid 80s kind of run kind of Wolverine, especially with even putting Hulk 181 on the
No,
wall.
totally. There's even the eye patch on the table too, which is hilarious.
Yeah, so they're definitely going for a more like old school Wolverine type of,
I'm just saying,
at least like feel there. You know what I mean? Him hanging out in a bar, stuff like that.
my eyes are open to new interpretations. I'm like, those are cool.
I think Fee is right now banning people.
Yeah,
Fee is, by the way,
there's so many people.
I want. I took a photo of it.
There's a faster way of doing this.
I don't care.
There's,
I'm enjoying Fee sniping the chat.
No, I am too, but I want her to be part of the podcast, not do that the entire time. There is a
No.
faster
I know,
way of
dude.
doing this.
I know, but at the same time, I've literally been going through, and we're still
Yeah.
getting people coming in.
Yeah.
And I don't like. Yeah, I completely get that there's ways to do it, but
Yeah.
I thought maybe just doing a few, but apparently
Apparently, it's a little bit different from how we did it last time. Whereas, like, it was only one. Now there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Now there's a lot.
Yeah, they're
It's fine. What I would say, what I would advise, don't write a tweet about it. They want us to write a tweet about it. They want that little like, haha, we got them. Look at it, we're making them write tweets about it. Just they'll go away
yeah,
eventually.
don't.
And if we have to end stream early, we could always end stream early.
yeah, and I can also do this. I'm sorry for the people that do want to talk. You can always switch it to subscribers only or followers.
I'll put it in emote
emotes
only mode for right now.
If,
Yeah, at least for right now.
Yeah. If you're out there and I see you
fine.
sit in the emote, then I might switch it back if you're talking. So yeah, emote only now. Suck it.
Yeah. I would say probably just put it in the sub only.
Insomniac can do.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Insomniac can do no wrong. At least at this point, I trust them.
Yeah.
But also, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I'm so
Um,
excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah. We're getting. I guess we're getting Spider-Man 2 finally. Cool. I mean, basically Mario was kind of right. It was just a CGI thing with a title screen.
Yeah. That's all I needed. And the fact they
That's
gave me
all
a
I
year.
need. I don't want any more. I don't want any more. Like
They gave me the year.
I
The
want
game
to
is-
see absolutely nothing from this game.
The game is coming out in 2023. We're not gonna get any more anyways. At this
Mhm.
point, this game is still
I
2
know,
years
but
down the road. But I agree with you,
This
Slide.
is
This is
gonna be
all I
one
needed.
of the games
Yeah.
that I do not look at anything for. I
Sure.
don't want to see a single thing. Like anytime a trailer comes out, I'm not gonna look at it. I know all I need to know is that it exists. That's like I love the Spider-Man games. Like I'm currently replaying the first Spider-Man. I've played Miles Morales like 3 times. Like I love these games. I just want more of them. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to disseminate this, and then I will never disseminate before because because just by looking at the trailer and what the information they've given us, I saw something that I'm like, all right, this is probably how the game's going to go. Again, I don't know how the game's going to go, but this is my guess. Okay, in the trailer we see someone talking, which definitely probably sounds like Kraven the Hunter, so that's kind of cool. We then hear another voice, which of course is also done by Candyman's Tony Todd, perfect, doing Venom's voice. The Venom we saw was very classic. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I've
Very
seen,
like Todd McFarlane looking. Venom.
yes, exactly. Whenever I've seen Venom, he's always looked different depending on who is the host of Venom. So even like going back from the original Spider-Man 1 video game from the PS1 when Carnage joined up with Dr. Ock and made Carnage Dr. Ock, that was cool. Anyways, the reason I'm saying that is because in comic books, it was originally Eddie Brock. Then it's jumped around a bunch of places. One of the
Flash
people,
Thompson was
that's the one I was
Venom
gonna,
at some point.
which very much soldier look. He does Hulk out into a bigger version, but it didn't look like the traditional Venom. Then you also get Matt Gargan, who was the Scorpion, who also had the suit, and it also looked different. So if I had to guess, because this is spoilers for Spider-Man 1. The first time we see any symbiote related stuff, it's protecting Harry or making sure Harry is alive inside this tank. I'm thinking Spider-Man somehow saves him. It escapes and goes onto his suit. That's why we have the black with this thing, and then it goes away at some point in the game and lands on Eddie Brock. That's what I'm assuming what happens.
I think you're on the right track. I would say, if I were to guess, it would probably be Eddie Brock maybe was doing some investigative journalism and walked into the wrong lab and got a symbiote injection on accident. After he's trying to maybe get his job back from the Daily Bugle or something.
Straight up Spider-Man 3, is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Literally Spider-Man 3.
My thing is that I think we got to have Spider-Man have the suit at one point, and I think they got to have. That's why I think it transfers very much like Spider-Man 3, is that it goes from one, leads to this, and then goes to the other thing. There's going to be a conflict between Miles and. Oh my God, we've actually never seen Miles have this black suit, like symbiote version of a suit too. So I'm curious if they go that route.
It's probably gonna like Miles is the perfect character to have right now for that story, because you typically have someone like Black Cat or something like that be like the kind of like anchor for Spider-Man, to kind of realize that he's the black suit's kind of hurting him a little bit. And we've seen it in the comics where he will more gravitate towards Black Cat instead of MJ because Black Cat's more of an evil character at the time, at least. And then have that. But now you have someone like Miles who knows Peter at this point and can tell him like, "Hey, Peter, you're acting really sus right now, bro."
Which makes me excited for their relationship and how it grows and how it changes and is conflicted. Actually coming ahead at some point.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see how they interact.
That's all I want to talk about that trailer.
We get so little of them interacting, at least so far. So I can't wait to see them together and the story they tell.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Harvey had something to say about it?
No, I was just gonna say bring back who's the guy that plays Eddie Brock?
Oh, Topher Grace?
Fuck.
Yeah, bring back Topher Grace.
And he's gonna be the face model and everything.
Yeah, he's gonna be the face model. Yeah.
Hey man, we
Yeah.
might see him in Far From Home. Who knows?
Mario, can you while we're setting up this last piece, can you pull up I'm gonna grab a video, and if you could pull it up, please. It is the Spider-Man animated series when Peter Parker is chasing the Shocker up a clock tower, and it's some of the best voice acting you could ever see ever.
Let's
I don't think we
see.
can do.
Oh, can we not show that?
It's because Discord. You can't send me
Damn.
stuff. We gotta.
Damn, rip.
Oh wait,
Okay.
if you put it in the doc, I can actually grab it.
Okay, yeah, I could probably
Put it in the doc. But yeah,
but yeah, and then I did say right now also with the Insomniac thing that Insomniac is fully proving right now that they are the apex studio over at Sony right now, and Naughty Dog needs to step the fuck up.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Naughty Dog, where the hell are you?
oh my God, it's only been a fucking year. Okay,
It doesn't matter. Okay, where's Factions?
They had 3 games that came out like last
Oh,
year.
boo hoo! Look at Insomniac pulling double duty over here with like every game coming out at Sony. Okay.
I was messing with Frank when we were watching. It's like, this is an Insomniac Direct, not a PlayStation Direct.
Oh yeah, Insomniac just carrying the PS5 on their back. Remember that. Remember that when the PS6 comes out and Naughty Dog puts out one game. On that note, and it's Factions. God of War Ragnarok finally gets some gameplay, and it looks fucking amazing.
Oh my God, I'm so freaking. This is the
my
game that I'm
God.
so freaking excited about. And the guy that plays Odin, the voice actor, is Richard Schiff. He's from The West Wing. I fucking love him. He's an amazing actor.
Who's
And
that in the West Wing?
he is Toby Ziegler,
Oh,
speechwriter.
hell
He's playing Odin, which I'm really excited about.
love that.
Yeah, and yeah, like they gave us enough story to see what this game is going to be about, how they change the combat, and like where we're headed, what direction we're headed for this game, and I'm so freaking excited.
Let's go. I don't really have much to say other than I want to play this game. I'm excited. Let's play some more God of War. All right, give it to me.
Yep,
just give it to me. That's all I ask for.
I think it's quite interesting that some of the comments that are coming out of this game is specifically talking about the physique of Thor.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they're like,
Oh yeah, because his hand is really thick.
he's not fit
No,
enough.
it's because
Which,
he's
like,
dummy thick.
But
Hold
here's
on.
the thing: someone actually went and fully explained that there is a difference between like fit people and heavyweight, like people who lift weights. And what he currently has is a heavyweight lifter body, which is quite normal for that specific like area because they're in the north, and like it's normal to see specifically like Nordic Vikings having that type of build where they will kill a bear. Like they do not give a flying fuck. They are massive. Like it's just because they're like, oh, but he doesn't look like Thor from the MCU. Like sure, like
They
cool.
do realize that Marvel is not an expert on Norse mythology, right?
Yeah, guys,
The MCU should
Thor
not be
existed
a
before
reference
Marvel.
for Norse mythology.
And let's be real here. This man's been in like isolation for like years in the story. So like, okay.
At the very bottom, Mario, I put a link for you. The very bottom of the doc.
Okay.
No, someone literally like I wish I saved the tweet for this, but they explained that the way that like the MCU characters, they're fit, but they're not like but they're also on specific diets, they have different regimes, they're doing different workouts and stuff like that. Thor is like I have killed a man. Like I have not only killed a man, I've killed a bear, I've killed like any large animal my way. I've done it not only with this hammer but with my hands. Like
Thor looks like anybody who's lived in the cold for a very long time.
Correct. Also, he's not like no offense to the people like the men of the MCU. Like obviously this guy's not eating a kale salad and like lean chicken. He's eating like
He's eating whole mooses. Like this man eats a whole pig by himself. He has to survive that cold wilderness.
Yeah, but I also think body shaming a video game character because they're unhappy with the fact that they don't look like an MCU like statuous man is
Wait,
absolutely
this is an
atrocious.
actual thing. This is actually
People
happening.
were
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
people are pissed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, people were
We're body
trashing
shaming
how he looked.
Thor.
I will say, just to be devil's advocate, for all the people stepping out and was like, "Yo, Thor look good. Where the fuck you at on my Tinder?" That's all I'm asking. Where the fuck you at? I'm
Oh
trying
my
my best.
God.
All right.
Yeah, if you're gonna say
I could
that-
look like this man. It's a possibility.
Oh my god.
Justice for chubby Thor. Exactly.
Alright.
Look,
I'm just
Look,
Alright.
I'm very.
Look at him.
I'm just very confused on why people are mad because they're two different properties.
People, the problem with today is that as soon as you show like a design for a character or something like that, people already have a determined idea of who these characters are supposed to look like, and sometimes you just get people who just take it to the next level. And I'm sorry, video game characters don't look like you. They're gonna look different. Okay, if you want them to be fit,
Nobody noticed.
fine, but it's not your fucking
noticed.
character. Get over
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
If you want that type of game, go play fucking Fallout or Skyrim or something like that.
Hey,
This
Thor's in
isn't the
Fortnite.
Yeah.
He looks good. Fortnite.
Oh my god.
well, I mean, like in any interpretation of Thor in media over the past, not even just like the MCU, but over like the past 50 years. Like if you look at like anytime there's been mentions of like a Norse god or like specifically a character that's named Thor, he's always like ripped, like shoulders big, like arm, like huge biceps, and like has that kind of idea like that people have of like what a fit man is, and not specifically like, oh, this is what he probably would have looked like if he was a person in that type of era. Like if you look at heavyweight champions, not specifically like wrestlers, but men who actually like lift heavy weights, they're not like your typical like, oh, like six, like an 8-pack. They're built different is the best way to put it. And like sitting here and
Built
shaming, yeah, like shaming him about like, are you joking? Like what are you expecting them? Oh, they're like, oh my god, just give me a second, let me go fix this and give him the 8-pack of your dreams. Like no one's gonna do that.
And then
But also,
I will
one
say
thing that Nardog also said that people don't realize Thor isn't just a Marvel character. He's
Yeah,
a
it's-
Norse character.
Thor existed before
He's in
Marvel.
Norse, yeah.
Thor existed way before Marvel.
He's in Norse
Eons
mythology.
at
So.
this point. I will say this though, just to play small devil's advocate there. A lot of the people are defending Santa Monica Studio here, and it's rightfully so. You can design a character however you want, and you should not be scrutinized for it. However, if you're also doing that, when it happens the other way around where somebody's overly buff, people really like to complain when people are overly buff in video games where like those characters are buff. Same thing. Who fucking cares? Stop and self-inserting yourself into the game. Who cares if a character is buff or fat? It's up to the creative design of that studio, and if they want to do it one way or another, let them do it. You're there to be on the roller coaster. Let people take you on a roller coaster, but stop complaining on either side whether a character's too fit or too fucking fat. It doesn't matter. Let that studio do what they want to do.
Casual fat characters.
But he's not even fat. He's
He's built. He's somebody who survives a wilderness.
I'm not saying his character is fat. I'm just saying I want to see more characters that aren't just like their entire characters being fat. I just want to see more casual fat characters. More body diversity. It's fucking video games. You can make them look however the fuck you want.
Yeah, and it's come down to the point where like we've seen this so often with like people just complaining about like this character's too fat, this character's too thin, this character's not beautiful enough, this character's too ugly. It's like
We got it for fucking Spider-Man too, with the fact they changed the face model. It was like
Yeah.
everyone gave a shit about that. Like you don't.
who fucking cares? Just play the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The character is not you. If you're playing it, like it's not you. All right, this isn't an RPG. Okay, character does not look like you. Peter Parker looks like Peter Parker. Okay, Thor looks like Thor. That is Santa Monica's version of Thor. And if you don't like it, don't fucking play the game.
Play a different game.
Play a game where you have a body slider and you want to make them super fit. Final Fantasy 14's got a body slider. You want a body slider so goddamn badly. You want to make a character that looks like you. But on that note, that was my TED Talk. Everybody just stop bitching about designs and play the fucking games already.
There you go.
On that note.
On that note, hey Fee,
So,
let's take a very depressing turn.
oh, fantastic. I'm so excited to go from one topic to another. Here we go. So, the I wouldn't even call a rise, but like his, I don't know, introduction to the public for a lot of people, because I did not know who this man was. John Gibson decided to voice his ideas of what recently has been put in place in Texas, which is the new anti-abortion law that was started last week, where he said, proud of the U.S. Supreme Court affirming the Texas law banning abortion for babies with a heartbeat. As an entertainer, I do not get political often, yet with so many vocal peers on the other side of this issue, I felt it was important to go on record as a pro-life game developer. Absolutely not. This was not, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know if he thought that people are going to embrace me with open arms, but it was the complete opposite. People were livid by this tweet, including
Absolutely.
myself.
But my biggest problem, like obviously this is a problem, but he's played real fast and loose with the term entertainer here for a dude that most people had no idea who he was. Like,
I didn't know who this
I
guy
don't know who
was.
this man is. I don't know why he thinks he has a platform big enough to make a stand like that.
Why my thing is, why even make the stand in the first place? Would it realistically, just by common sense, right? I get it. You have the right to believe what you want to believe, and 100%, you have the right to do that. But why the fuck would, knowing damn well what's happened to people who have made these comments in the past, post that dumb shit on Twitter of all fucking places?
Yeah.
Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
His name is John Gibson. He is he was the CEO of Tripwire, who made it's on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Chivalry 2, Maneater, and then a couple of, I think another game. I forgot which one.
Yeah.
Either way, fuck
Those
those
are-
games.
Yeah.
Those
And
are
when-
the two
Yeah.
main games. Yeah.
Oh, they're pretty
Well,
decent game stuff.
I
but-
do just want to say that since this post has been made by John Gibson, he has stepped down as CEO, and they have cut ties with John Gibson over at Tripwire. They have announced Tripwire appoints new interim CEO Alan Wilson as the company moves forward. This is what specifically was posted on Tripwire on their Twitter. The comments given by John Gibson are of his own opinion and do not reflect those of Tripwire Interactive as a company. His comments disregarded the values of our whole team, our partners, and much of the broader community. Our leadership team at Tripwire are deeply sorry and are unified in our commitment to take swift action and to foster a more positive environment. Effective immediately, John Gibson has stepped down as CEO of Tripwire Interactive. Co-founding member of and current vice president Alan Wilson will be taking over as interim CEO. Alan has been with the company since its formation in 2005 and is an active leader in both the studio's business and development affairs. Alan will work with the rest of the Tripwire leadership team to take steps with employees and partners to address their concerns, including executing a company-wide town hall meeting and promoting open dialogue with Tripwire leadership and all employees. His understanding of both the company's culture and the creative vision of our game will carry the team through this transition with full support from the other Tripwire leaders. Which, honestly, they did not mess around, because that was within 48 hours. Like, he made this post.
I will say one like, yes, I'm glad they took action so quickly, but I have to question if their partner company who made the post saying we're going to cut all contracts with current leadership, I feel like was a big motivator in them making the statement. Like, yes, they handled it. They handled it swiftly and effectively. But part of me is like, would they have done that if they had a partner studio come out and make a post first?
Well, I mean, like, right now, it's a really good kind of like depiction of what not to do is what Blizzard is currently doing. because they protected and supported
True.
multitude of different people in higher ups who completely disgrace not only that business but their employees, and yet some of them still believe that none of that happened or existed. So yes, I definitely like understand from like even just like in the HR perspective that probably did influence what they did, but it definitely they could have taken another route. There are multiple routes that they could have taken in this case, and what they did is what we usually are talking about on this podcast and on other platforms where we say this is what should be happening. They
Mhm.
did it. They and most of the time when they say like they've stepped down, especially in a case like this, we don't know, but it's definitely probably not just him stepping down. So we can't definitely like say specifically like rumors because it was specifically stated that he did step down, but I think this was the appropriate way to deal with this. I do believe that people are allowed to have their own opinions. However, when it and I'm not going to try to get political by any means on this podcast, but if it doesn't affect your own body, shut the fuck up. Just
Oh, yeah.
shut the fuck up. Like you have literally no say, just shut the fuck up. And I
Exactly.
don't think it's appropriate for him to come out and specifically state that he won. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not even sorry. You're not an entertainer. You're just being an ass and you're trying to cover your ass while doing it. And I thought it was really inappropriate of you to do it. So I am happy to see that Tripwire has really like recognized that this was a huge mess up and that they took the steps that they needed to take in this case. If it was influenced by the hundreds of people saying that they were never going to buy a Tripwire game ever again, then that's a good thing because they've been listening to their audience and they realize that this is something that we need to deal with. And it's not even just like it's been a few weeks, it was within a 48-hour period. So I appreciate Tripwire for what they've done. F you, John Gibson. And that law's
I think
stupid.
it's pretty clear where we all stand socially.
Yeah.
At
I
least I
mean,
would hope it's pretty
yeah.
clear where we all stand.
It's
But like, as soon as you, as a person within a public sphere, make your words known to the general public, whatever consequence for your actions that result from that is completely fair and valid, and he deserves everything he got to him. His apology letter was gross and made me uncomfy, and so I'm very glad he's no longer involved.
No.
yeah. When you're a CEO of a company, you have to know that having fucking my opinions are my own in your Twitter bio doesn't make your words automatically not have weight to them. You know what I mean? You're not some fucking random Twitter bot. You're a CEO of a company. And I hate to say it, but yeah, your opinions you can have opinions. You know what I mean? They're there. You know what I mean? It's the right you have it as an American citizen. But when you're doing it as a CEO, you're really speaking for a lot of your company. And people do look at that. People look at your company like, this is the person who's running your shit? Really? He's saying this in a public forum? No. You couldn't have been more dumber with how you handled that, dude.
Yeah, and I completely agree. That's what the first thing people do. It's 2021. The first thing people see is like, this person said a really shitty take. The first thing they do is they check their description. And they're like, okay, you work at X, Y, and Z. You're a part of this particular one. I know for a fact if I made a huge fuck up, I'm not going to make a huge fuck up like this guy. But if I did, the very first thing that they would see is I'm a part of Point in Progress and I'm a part of another podcast. And so that does not look good for anyone I'm associated with in my Twitter bio, because I'm now like, I'm displaying and advertising the fact that I'm a part of these groups or I'm working with these groups of people. And I think it's like really just so stupid. I know I keep on saying it's stupid, but like it's so juvenile to believe that he could just say this and not see the repercussions. Like it's
I think we could be good for a little bit to take it off of sub-only mode. Harv. Sorry, Faye.
yeah, no worries.
I can do that.
I'll keep an eye on who comes in, who comes out, but
Thanks.
it should be good now.
Yeah. No, but I think God. That entire thing.
I
is a
really
shit
hope
show.
that what's his name, Alan Wilson, gets better PR training.
What is his name? John.
Like,
Fuck up John over here.
Alan Wilson is the person who is now
no, Alan Wilson, the vice president who's stepping in. I hope he gets better PR training. I hope things go well for Tripwire. I think that's all we have to say about that.
I'm pretty sure everybody in chat and everybody kind of knows our views on this topic here. If it's not your body, don't tell anybody else how to fucking live it. All right, that's just the rule of thumb here.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, you don't pay my
How the
sub.
cookie crumbles.
You don't pay my sub.
It is Billy. It is slightly open.
I was about to say, I'm like, wait, don't they?
Don't
Wait,
want.
what happened?
No. Continue.
Pay my sub?
I don't know
Final
what's going
Fantasy
on.
sub?
No. I mean, like, they like specifically to talk on this channel currently. They like until we disabled it. The sub. Don't worry about me. I'm tired.
If you have Twitch Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. Please go ahead and leave us a subscription.
Oh my god.
And then
With that note, Frank, will you hit us with the tidbits?
yeah, these are just some quick tidbits here. GameSpot's Eddie McCook reports Alan Wake 2 is happening with Epic Games. I hope so, because I would like a sequel to that game, especially since apparently there's some stuff in Control that's tied to it as well.
Yeah,
There is. There's a whole DLC based around it.
yeah, there is.
But we need to stop giving things to Epic Games because I'm not going to buy anything on that platform.
They-
It'll eventually
they're
probably come to
teamed-
Steam. if it
Actually,
ever
they're
does.
teamed up, so that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll
I think it's
come to
gonna-
Steam eventually, probably. They always do. They said that with Borderlands, and look where Borderlands is right now.
Aren't they like a subsidiary of them now, or some shit, or like a team up or some sort? It doesn't matter. Continue.
It always comes to the other platforms
knows?
eventually.
Who knows?
Whatever.
This next article comes from Hollywood Reporter's Ryan Parker. The Matrix Resurrection stuns with first trailer. I wanted to bring this up really quick because the new Matrix trailer looks absolutely fucking badass.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, it does.
I wouldn't
it
know
looks
because they
good.
didn't fucking caption it.
Oh,
Did they not?
No.
It's just monologues
Shout
anyway.
out
You're not
to-
missing much.
Shout out to Sandra Mae Frank, who made a beautiful Instagram story talking about this and why it's so important. I'm not gonna reiterate it here, but y'all caption your shit
Yeah.
everywhere. Doesn't matter where it is. Fucking caption it.
Yeah,
That trailer looked amazing though. Seeing Keanu Reeves and he just looks like John Wick now. Looks pretty cool. Apparently they're also taking lore from the Matrix
online game.
online game.
Yeah,
We'll see about that. I feel like that's bullshit. That's not actually happening. But like,
I
they
mean,
just
it
had
makes-
a weird reason not
Well-
to bring back Lawrence Fishburne.
all right.
I mean, it's not often a movie takes lore from a abandoned MMO video game.
I mean, at the same time, it also had that Animatrix thing, which has some lore that is connected, is not connected. Either way,
Yeah.
you know, they do
They
take from other
nailed-
sources.
They nailed the song
Fuck yeah, they did.
for that trailer. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is good. This is good. Even though I'm not the biggest Matrix fan, like, it's fine. It's cool.
I grew
Oh,
up
yeah,
on the
like,
first
oh,
Matrix, and little side story. I posted this last night. I met the Wachowski sisters a couple years ago, and that's how I have this giant Jupiter Ascending poster because it was during their premiere for the movie. So
Oh yeah, dude. Nice.
I'm excited. I love Speed
Jupiter
Racer.
Ascending is my favorite movie.
It's awesome. I like
Just
it too.
reminded.
It's so silly.
But it's so great. Something about seeing Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss on the same in the same frame this so many years later is absolutely something about it just made me
Yeah.
feel so good about this.
Shout out to
Who
you.
knows? Maybe it's gonna be a fucking Matrix 2 and 3, but I'm hopeful. It looks like they are trying to hit a little bit of the nostalgia feel, and it looks like it's gonna be kind of like one of those like kind of for the fans type of movie. You know what I mean? Like if you know type shit,
It
but
looks like-
enough to bring people into the series.
It looks like Force Awakens, Candyman, and Halloween 2018 all rolled up in one. It's a prequel. I'm excited. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else on Matrix? Anybody else have any feelings on the trailer?
Pill me. That's it. Pill me.
Tell me. The next article comes from Ian Walker at Kotaku. Chinese gaming giants lose 8 Bethesdas in value amid government crackdown. So if you guys don't know what happened, the Chinese government is cracking down on playtime for children in China, and obviously investors are not very happy about that. Mainly just because Tencent is kind of dug a big hole in the gaming market by all the acquisitions they do and how much kind of play they have, especially in games like Fortnite, games like on the mobile end of things and everything like that. They have become one of the biggest. I wouldn't really call them a studio because they're kind of just buying up studios left and right.
They're more publishing than anything.
Yeah, they're more of a publisher. So as an investor, when the biggest publisher you have is now getting gimped very hard on how much people can actually play those games and actually have your engagement, they lost a lot of money. They lost 8 Bethesda's worth. I don't remember how much Bethesda sold, but that's a lot of billions.
7.4 million, I think.
If I remember the article, it was close to like 80 billion. They lost.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Jesus Christ.
$80 billion just down the drain.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Which is basically how much they spent in acquiring all those companies. So that return on investment out the door. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. It's such a controversial topic of what the government is doing over there. I don't want to get into it myself because I look at every single side of this argument, and there's not a good conclusion out of any side whether you believe children should have some playtime because it's everybody has a different opinion on it. But yeah, they lost a lot of money, and that is baffling. So we'll see what happens with Tencent. I mean, they got to recoup that money somehow, and more than likely that means a lot of studios are going to be up in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last one.
Oh, I was reading the Lev Star comment. And then the last one here. This comes from IGN's Logan Plant. Bugsnax developer is embracing the 4-day work week. Good on them. Good
for them.
Now everybody needs to embrace it, please. Thank you.
Please.
Yeah, let's
Holy
just give us a
moly.
2-day work week and let's make $200 an hour.
Fuck yeah. I'm into it.
Wait, what?
Make workplaces more accessible. Make work hours more accessible. Stop discriminating against disabled workers. That's my rant for the episode.
My TED Talk.
Thanks for coming to my tech talk.
For work hours and stuff like that, the benefit of there's always benefits in the different kind of ways for all different kind of jobs, right? Like for me, I could start at any time and just work whenever I want, as long as I get my work done, right? Doesn't matter. As long as I put my 8 hours in and I'm at the 2 meetings, I'm good. The thing is, I wish there was a 4-day work week. The thing is, how do you balance that? Would you do 4 hours, 10 hours, or 4 days, 10 hours?
I would do 4 days, 10 hours if I got when we used to work at Verizon, we would compromise with our boss all the time. Just like, if we're gonna do 10-hour days, we want more days off. You know what I mean? And for a while there, it did work out well, but then obviously bosses love to change schedule, make you work a day that you're not supposed to, and then that schedule gets fucked up. You know how it is. But yeah, I mean, four work days is not it feels pretty good. You need time to give people to decompress, or else they're just going to get burnt out. And the problem with companies nowadays is they look at the burnout like, okay, now this is when we replace you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, this is
Also,
now
20 to 30 hour work weeks are often more productive than longer work weeks. Like, if you're putting more hours in, you're becoming so much less productive. And I think that people don't realize that time does not always equal effectiveness. And if you want to work 30 hours a week and get the same amount done, why should people have the problem with that?
Yeah.
I'd rather work like a 30 to 35 hour work week than a 40-hour work week. But then it also comes into point where some people need to work those hours because you gotta pay ends meet, right?
No,
depending on where you live.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to figure out. But hey, I mean, at least somebody is trying something different in the space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It might work out for them.
Yeah.
It might work very
Love to see
badly.
it.
We'll find out. But I'm glad that they're at least trying something different. And even if this doesn't work out for the company and they eventually have to go back to regular work weeks, at least you know that they had the employees' well-being in mind when they tried to do something different.
Mhm.
And that's all. That says
You'll
way more than
never-
anything.
You'll never see improvement if you don't try new things. So, like,
Exactly.
massive shout out to them.
On that note, give me Bugsnax 2, Sons of Liberty, and I'm in. Yeah.
Give me bug stacks, fruit snacks. I want I want bug stack shaped fruit snacks. That's all I want in life. Give it to me, please.
There
Well,
you go.
every bug's a fruit snack if you just look at it differently, you know.
Oh,
But on that
God.
note,
I want physical fruit snacks.
um,
On that note, that's been the patch notes.
Good job, Frank. Thank you for giving us all that sweet ass news.
no problem.
And fee for the tripwire.
And the tripwire, of course.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I was trying to think of a transition, but all I got was speaking of fruit snacks.
Forget about workplace
Mario.
problems.
There you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of workplace problems, Mario, hit us with the pitch.
So, I had originally was going to pitch more talk about Artful Escape. That didn't make sense. I had a video coming out that same time, and then my good buddy Frank brought this to my attention. All right, that every gaming website and every website that you visit right now is talking about, of course, AEW. What is that? That is All Elite Wrestling. That's right. I'm pitching wrestling, but I'm going to tell you why everyone is talking about it and why you should enjoy yourself some of that good old-fashioned wrestling. And go give you a little bit of a history lesson, okay? I'm going to start at the very beginning here. Wrestling, opera, ballet, gymnastics, comedy, drama.
I'm here for most of these things.
All of those things encompass, including carnival and carnies and clowns. All are tied to the history of wrestling in some aspect. If you enjoy either one of those things, especially anime as well, if you just enjoy even one of those things, you can find something in wrestling that you can enjoy. And I'll tell you, you put a face, and trust me, I'm going to show you in just a second. Wrestling has been around since, the Carney days back, I believe, in the early 20s.
At the dawn of time.
Since the dawn of time. There's definitely been arenas and stuff like that, but this has obviously been more in terms of the entertainment aspect of it, where it's fighting, but it's for your entertainment, not to actually murder somebody. So they basically, wrestling's been around for as long as time. The biggest company in the world, of course, originally was the World Wrestling Federation, which had to change its name because of the World Wildlife Foundation. The little panda guy was like, no, you can't use that.
Shout out to the World Wildlife Foundation.
That's right. They went to court and Panda won. Panda got over. So they've, of course, changed their name to World Wrestling Entertainment, and they have definitely been focusing in that route in terms of entertainment. Basically, they were the top dog. Back in the 90s, back in the late 80s into 90s, they had competition for the first time in a long time on television. USA Network was WWE Raw, and then you had on WCW on TNT, where there was an actual war between them. It was called the Monday Night Wars. And you would go back and forth, and wrestlers from
Great.
It was so great. Characters that you loved in one promotion, all of a sudden showed up on another because they were not getting pushed or getting their stance brought up. Okay, and it was one of the greatest periods in wrestling ever, until the point where the 2000s sort of kicked in, and writing was terrible on one side, and one side specifically beat the living shit out of the other. To the point where they bought them live on air from their previous company to be brought over to the WWE. So WWE has been champion since then. It's been about 20 years. And basically, ever since then, there's been no one to oppose them. We've had, obviously, the eras of John Cena, which everyone knows. So some breakout stars like the Hardy Boys and stuff like that. That is WWE, right? there was some indies in the background that were gaining steam. Wrestling is not just an American sport, it's a Canadian sport. It is a UK sport. It is also a Japan sport. It's also a Mexican sport. In Japan, the New Japan Wrestling had a series of where indie wrestlers from America that were not on the not in the WWE because they were considered either not marketable, because when you think of WWE, you think of Hulk Hogan, you think of the big guys, you think of Brock Lesnar, right? You think of these monster people. Small people wrestle too. And sometimes your act is, different than others and you get pushed in a certain way. So they go off into New Japan Wrestling and become massive stars over there in Japan. Just absolute, some of the top wrestlers over there. Wrestlers at a certain point were like, there's no competition. Until finally the independent scene got so big that they actually threw a show in Chicago called All In, where a bunch of wrestlers put money up and said, can we fill this arena up to 10,000 people of just the top indie wrestlers? And sure enough, they did. It was monumental for wrestling, and they had some of the best matches I've ever seen happen on the stage. In the same event, Stephen Amell from Arrow also participated in a match.
Fucking love Stephen Amell.
Yes, which of course, he's on the show Heels, which is a wrestling show, which also features CM Punk. That happened and started a new explosion of the interest for wrestling, which then, January 1st in 2019, 5 people, the Young Bucks, which is Matt and Nick Jackson, Kenny Omega, and Chris Jericho, and Cody Rhodes, all came together and made a new company called All Elite Wrestling, which stemmed from YouTube culture, which was a YouTube show that they had while they would go on wrestling, and they would tell stories on the YouTube show, and they would actually act them out in wrestling in Japan, which was awesome. They're silly, irreverent, freaking fantastic, which then begins the now new alternative for wrestling fans that don't have to suck up to just enjoy WWE, because WWE at this point has gotten stale. There was different eras of WWE where it was raunchy, it was weird, and that was the 90s. Not all of it was great. A lot of it was fun. A lot of it was stupid, but it's something that we recognize. At a certain point, there was a scandal that happened where, if you know the story of Chris Benoit, something very terrible happened. Obviously, Canadian wrestler, very sad story. I'm not going to tell the details here, but understand that was definitely where things had to start to change. And since that change, John Cena has become higher and rise. And it was more of called the PG era, where things are more family friendly, family focused, less about wrestling and more about how can I sell t-shirts? How can I sell action figures? That's what wrestling had become. And that's, some people enjoy it for what it is. Some people want it like something at least alternative to that. And that's what AEW is. So they got on TNT, which is the same network as WCW. Okay. So they're very much paralleling the original war. Okay. From there, the pandemic happened. And there's no shows. Wrestling is on the lifeblood of crowds. All right. You need to hear the crowd. You need to hear the anticipation. They did it. They actually had wrestling events like in a private room, and basically they would watch it. But the beauty of wrestling is being there live and experiencing and getting lost in the moment and totally understanding that, yes, this is not real, but these people are putting their lives on the line and telling a story for you. And you're supposed to get lost in that moment and root for people and root for the faces, which are the good people, and root for or boo the heels, and who are the bad people. And that sort of got kind of lost during the pandemic. But during the pandemic, AEW and WWE were having totally different types of different shows. At this time, WWE decided, let's make some budget cuts because we're WWE. We're $1 billion company. We're totally fine because they are saving money because they're not going on the road. They have a performance center. They cut the entire roster almost like in half over the course of the last 2 years. Some of the biggest stars possible.
Jesus Christ.
Big names such as like Brody Lee, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Lana, all these stars, Ruby Riott, some amazing stars, people that are like top tier that for some reason that are just gone just because it just made sense to save money on their contract. Because when AEW started, they actually were locking people in 5-year contracts so that they stay at WWE and they would pay them more. But now with the pandemic, it's like cut their losses and the contract's early. People immediately are just like fed up with the bullshit that WWE has done. The stories are run by the same 70-year-old man who's been doing this for way too long and needs new talent, new blood. He will throw scripts away night of the show, which what fucking show does that? Nobody. All right? Storylines gone in an instance, right? It's people that you're invested in. The reason why you care about this sport. Now, AEW is a fostering of young talent. It is also still fostering, new stars and new faces and new people. And I'm actually going to go ahead and this is the show and tell part where I'm going to switch to the browser mode. And I'm going to show some of these stars because some of these are interesting because these are characters that you would not see. So for instance, Darby Allin. Darby Allin is like 5'2", rail thin. All right. He would not be a top star. He is like hitting top level main event matches. I'm going to go ahead and go straight to Nyla Rose. Who, let's see here, Nyla Rose is right here. A transgendered fighter that won the #1 belt for AEW for the women's championship and does massively well. Would not be featured on WWE. Some of these people never even got a chance to be featured on any of this. And that AEW provides on that. It provides unique faces, unique voices, diverse characters, diverse people, as well as telling really interesting high-level stories and stories that are that go on for a while, so that way you can get engaged with them. There was a wrestler that sadly passed away in the middle of the pandemic because of COVID that no one knew about, kept secret until it was finally confirmed that yes, he had passed away. They did an amazing tribute show and honestly showed how much they cared about their wrestlers and how much they cared about their people. And with that, with all the people that they, of course, have left, those wrestlers saw that and definitely saw like this is the place that they would want to be. Lastly, of course, I just want to talk about CM Punk. If you've ever heard of this wrestler, one of the biggest wrestlers of all times in terms of status, in terms of somebody that wants to be, that like people want to see again. He got fired actually at WWE because he was saying how stale that product was and how they're not listening to their fans and how the stories and everything is just garbage and they're just giving it to John Cena just because. And they fired him. They overworked him. He actually had a medical issue with them too. They actually fired him on his wedding day. Like that's like a legit story, which is very messed up. But the reason why we're obviously talking about WWE and AEW and why wrestling is prevalent right now is because CM Punk has returned and he has chosen AEW. He has chosen a place that cares about their wrestlers and cares about the environment of wrestling and what wrestling means to people and the storytelling and the history and stuff like that. And that's why I'm implying for anyone here that anyone can get into wrestling, definitely give AEW a shot. You can just jump in right now. This is definitely partly the start of any of these things, and you can find a wrestler for you. There are wrestlers in this program that are aliens. There are wrestlers in here that are zombies. There are wrestlers that are a dinosaur. One of the best wrestlers, of course, is Luchasaurus, which I'm going to go ahead and try and find. Yep, there he is. Luchasaurus is right there. He is right in this corner, right there. Yeah, there is literally a wrestler for everyone and all types of sizes. Jungle Boy, of course, is actually, oh my God, he was 90210. He passed away. He was also on Riverdale. That's his son, Jack Perry. Luke Perry. Yeah. Kenny Omega is probably the biggest star in Japan, primarily because his finisher moves are all named after video game references like V-Trigger and the Wily Bomb and the One-Winged Angel. There's so many types of different wrestlers on here that you can definitely find someone to identify with and, could be yours. Even original people, as well as new faces. Like Abaddon right there is pretty sweet. Big Swole, wonderful wrestler. There's so many different identities, different races, different people that you can identify with, and they all have interesting fates and stories. So if you were to try wrestling, I would recommend AEW because they care. They care about the history of wrestling. They care about their people, so they'll actually like let them take 3-month breaks in between and focus on other stars. Obviously, they're a company that cares, and so if you are interested in any type of storytelling, which it could be, two brothers who've had a long history and fighting for years and had literally a blood feud, and then at the very end embracing each other and sort of like. It's like it's even though we fought to the death, like we still care about each other, like stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, give AEW a chance. I know that I've bought t-shirts for Frank. I think he's wearing it right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I highly recommend. I took Frank to a wrestling show not that long ago. It had AEW stars in it, and it was in a small, dingy bar. And there's nothing like there's a lot of musk. There's nothing like the experience of live wrestling. So I'm just saying, it's 2 hours on Wednesday. It's 1 hour on Fridays. I'm missing this episode to be here, but you can always catch it up on Hulu. It's on Hulu.
As a heads up, it's not available in Canada.
Also,
not available in Canada.
Fair enough. They do have a YouTube show that is just matches as well, called AEW Dark After Dark. So you can also check those out instead for the time being. But yeah. But I'm
gonna be real honest.
Yeah.
You said opera, ballet, and carnies in the same sentence, and now I'm very intrigued.
So yeah, it's literally can all be all one thing, and I could probably each individually recommend a match for you to watch, and then maybe you'll continue to watch from there. But yeah.
Fuck yeah, do it.
So, okay.
Yeah, ask questions away.
No. I specifically, believe it or not, don't particularly need to ask any questions. Well, I mean, I could ask questions, but I got into wrestling in 2019.
Okay.
I just don't talk about it too often. I was specifically interested mostly because I met Bailey from the WWE in Bryant Park with a friend of the show, Kyle Stevenson.
Nice.
Even though sometimes I do joke around and say that, like, oh, she didn't specifically ask to take a photo with you. That is a lie. She did technically, like, I'm joking. She came up to us, asked us if she could take a photo with him. He said yes, because he was wearing, oh God, what's the girl's names? I will remember it in a second here. He was wearing a t-shirt because her friends were currently doing a showcase in Australia. And so then she's just like, I want to take a photo with you. It is on her Instagram if you ever want to go back and check. It's from like October of 2018. Is where she took that like that's where it's currently printed or wherever you'd like to specifically look at it. But no, I was a huge Becky fan. I like Seth as well, just because like one, a raging red-haired Irish woman definitely got me really excited, and just also seeing Batista's last fight was kind of fun because I watched my goodness,
that
SmackDown. That was rough. That was a rough watch. I also loved, oh my God, Xavier Woods' BTS of the entire event because he was losing his mind listening to Batista's opening song, which is I Walk Alone, and he's just yelling the lyrics so loud. He's just like, this is the best song in the WWE. And I'm like, dude, you have your own song, but he does not care. He just loves Batista. Just wanted to see, like, he's just like, I can't believe I'm here. Like, I appreciated the fact that they still fanboy about it.
Yeah.
I will admit there was an event that kind of made me kind of be like, okay, this is kind of just gross. It's now been since like explained as a stunt by Lacey Evans, who she got into an argument with a RCMP. There's a video of her doing this.
Oh yes.
She's just like, I hate Canada. And then throws her her ID and stuff to the police officer, which, by the way, for a Canadian, they didn't explain until a few days later that was false.
Yeah.
Like, it was at the time just this wrestler who
It was
was
wide
just disrespecting
Canadian
the fuck.
news.
Yeah, it was just like she completely disrespecting an RCMP officer, but then it was explained that it was a stunt for one of the matches in Alberta. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like I get that now, but like that's not so great. But I appreciated the fact that at the time there were some wrestlers that like I could even like see myself as, because you were seeing like a lot of like above 6 foot women who would just beat the shit out of these like other people. And like sometimes, yes, they would get double teamed by a smaller crew and then they would be knocked out. Cool. But you got to see like different faces. I did fall off around COVID. So unfortunately, I did end up joining around the time that like everything was closing up shop. And I tried to watch when there was no one there. Like when they had the fighters going.
It was rough.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Because like you get, and like you said, you get like so amped up and excited. Like you're hearing people cheer, you're hearing the audience, and like, yeah, it's in the background, but at the same time, you're just like, this is so freaking exciting. Like it, and like you were talking about, like historically, this has been something since the freaking dawn of time with like gladiators and like just the showmanship of like people coming into an arena and watching people fight.
Yeah.
Except this isn't till the death. There have been injuries and incidences. I went on a Google deep dive, which was a little bit
There's a lot.
scary.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Because even though they're doing high intensity, like even their stunts.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize for the people who didn't know this. They're doing stunts. It's not specifically like, it's not real, guys. It's a stunt. They practice it beforehand. There's going to be accidents though. Which could have killed people on multiple occasions.
Oh my god, so many times. Look at Matt Hart. Just look at Jeff Hardy and just how you will life. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, but I really enjoy it. Like I don't call myself a sports person, but when it comes to like stuff like, it's probably because I'm very competitive. Like I try to avoid sports because I'm a very competitive person, so I'm just like, no, I'm not really into sports, but like wrestling, I was definitely like 2019, I was yelling at my TV because I was just like, if Becky does not win, I'm gonna fucking quit. And which that was
it's something I never really got.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it was really controversial that year anyway because it was women like headlining.
Yeah.
Because there had never been a
women pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was on the pay-per-view one. It was SmackDown, where like they never done like had the like specifically like the main event of the entire show was women, which I was very lucky that was my first SmackDown. But yeah, you were gonna say something, Sly?
Yeah, it's just something I've never got into, but I think it's cool to have something that's like athletic but also fun stories. And I mean, if I was watching it with Mario, I'd probably be really into it. But yeah, no, it's just something I've never really gotten into. I will say though, John Cena, pretty nice.
Yeah, no, I'm not throwing shade so much to John Cena, but there definitely was a transition point where John Cena had become sort of like the face of this PG era of its, focusing more towards kids, which is not. There's nothing wrong with that, to be honest with you. And they still do some weird, wacky stories. But at the same time, it felt like wrestling was in a aimless direction where, like I said earlier, it's run by one guy who hires 40 people to write a story and works with these wrestlers to build them up. And overnight, we'll just throw all that shit away. Like, that's how like banal it is, that they just don't allow things to grow and see where it goes. They'll cut something early just because, hey, John Cena's available. Hey, Batista's available. Goldberg, like all these old
I just
people.
wasn't expecting him to be like a decent person.
No, of course. No.
Oh no. There was he was like, I don't usually watch their videos at all anymore, but he did there's a series on BuzzFeed that's called like I Became a Meme, which like obviously he's a meme because of he's never there.
Yeah.
You can't see me. So
are you sure about that?
So he was joking about he was talking about the fact that he went through a very kind of it was obviously a TLDR explanation, but he joined the WWE as a villain, and then they were just like, you're now no longer a villain. you're now a good guy and you have to accept that. And so he never got to be the villain that he originally signed up with. And then obviously, as we've seen with multiple characters, because even Becky's original character was, we don't talk about Becky's original character.
Yeah.
That was a major Irish stereotype and a half.
Fuck yeah,
but
it was.
It was not good. But then she did leave for almost a year, not even just because of the pandemic, because she recently went on maternity leave because she had a baby.
The end of that story was so beautiful too, because
I cried
so hard because the way it was set up, so it was supposed to be a battle between her and Asuka, and she tells Asuka to come to the ring. There's a suitcase sitting there, and she looks at Asuka's like, I was gonna face you, but I'm having a baby instead. And she opens this case and gives the belt to Asuka, like a passing of the torch. It was like so beautiful.
Which, by the way, Asuka didn't instantly go and grab the briefcase. She screamed and ran up and gave Becky a massive hug. And she's just like, "Are you serious?" And she's like, "Yes." And she's just like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." Like, yeah, the belt was cool, but like they worked so closely with each other for weeks, if not months at a time, that they be like, obviously a lot of these people do gain friendships there. And Asuka, even though she's kind of crazy, she's super duper adorable, and I really enjoyed her arcs as well when she joined the WWE. But I am excited to get into AEW. Like I said, I took a sabbatical because of COVID.
Yeah.
And also we're not going to talk about how the WWE addressed COVID for a little while, but yeah. Thumbs up. So I'm excited to check out the AEW. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't recognize it for a little bit, and then when they started to, they like were trying to force some of the wrestlers, but
those are bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm definitely excited to check out AEW. So, hopefully we'll check in the next couple weeks, see how we're feeling about that.
Oh, yeah.
But with that, it is very late, so
It is.
let's wrap this shit up and put a nice little bow on it.
There you go.
So, with that said, Fee, what do you have coming out soon? Where can people find you? What's going on? Where can people keep in touch?
For sure. You can find me here, not only for Point in Progress, but our newest show, which is Fantasy in Progress, where we talk about everything Final Fantasy 14. It stars Harv, Frank, and I, and we just talk about Final Fantasy 14. We hope to bring on more people that we've been playing with and just have discussions about the game itself, because it is very vast and there is so much to talk about when it comes to that game. You can also find me on Speaking of Stadia, where I do talk about Stadia over on the Game Source Network on YouTube. You can check me out on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Loranix, where I will be playing some games this week, such as The Artful Escape, which Mario has made a fantastic video about, and I can't wait for you guys to watch it. Also, is Harv here to do his out?
Sorry, guys.
He is now.
So you're going to recant everything that I said, right?
I was about to do Harv's outro. I was just going to be...
Sorry, guys. My parents phoned and I had to... Yeah, there's...
No worries.
Stuff. Sorry, I missed the entire last segment.
Good thing we break these things out.
You can watch it later.
My outro? Yeah, I'm Beard and the Hair.
Harv, where can people find you?
I am Beard and the Hair. You can find me at Beard and the Hair everywhere. Twitter, Twitch. You can find me on YouTube at Beard and the Hair Gaming. I'm gonna have some cool videos coming up soon. I am just in the process of getting an editor now. I'm finally putting this away onto somebody else, and somebody else is gonna be editing the videos and stuff like that. So, just working full time and editing videos. Oh, great. Not enough time. There's not enough time. But yeah. And watch Fantasy in Progress, or listen to Fantasy in Progress on Point in Progress, because it's a very good podcast.
Agreed.
Hell yeah. Mario, what do you have coming out? What are you plugging?
Plug in, obviously, the Artful Escape video, which comes out tomorrow, which should be out by the time this video is out. You can also find me at youtube.com/ that Mario Rivera, where I will have Asa Green River as the next guest in Halo Forever. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm going to just put a little tease out there that there might be another podcast on Point in Progress that we're talking about, and I'm excited to talk about that. We'll see. We'll see what we'll talk about that. Okay. All right.
We'll see.
Yes. And it's not Final Fantasy related.
Frank.
I thought this was a Final Fantasy channel now at this point.
Yeah, basically.
God. All right. Frank, what non-Final Fantasy things you got going on?
You can find me at Final Fantasy at PodChamp of Eorzea. You can find me on Twitter at Kestrel1A, where I talk shit about video games. And you can find me here at Point in Progress, where I talk shit about video games.
All right. And as always, you can find me everywhere on the internet at SlycloneMC. You can, in a couple weeks, check out another secret project that will be happening. And please tune in to 6-1 Indie tomorrow if you're watching this live, or the video if you're seeing this after. I'm hanging out with the 6-1 Indie folks tomorrow. I'm super excited. It'll be great. And with that, thank you for listening to Point in Progress Podcast episode 25. Y'all, we're old. This has been your one-stop shop for news, recommendations, and spicy takes. Thanks for joining us. We love you. And as always, progress has been made.
Yeah, shout out to Carrie Ann Moss.
Woo!
Yeah, we're old enough to rent a car.
Carrie and Mom.
We can rent a car.
There you go. And we're done. Lock it up. Check the gate.
Lock it up.
As Anthony
Send
Mackie would
them
say.
Okay. Cut the check.
Cut the check. There you go. That's what he says.